So I just wanted to throw this in really quick because I feel like this is an extremely helpful video paired alongside mine, but an eye for an eye Venix. He's only got a couple videos here, but they're pretty cool videos. The main one we're looking at, just because I have a LOGI build, Help Your LOGI Help You. This is a extremely informative video, so go ahead and check it out. I'm going to link it in the description. So if you are a LOGI pilot, you can potentially share this with your squad and help your LOGI help you. But alright, let's get right into the video.
Hey guys, BAKD here. Today I'm just going to be reviewing the Scythe. I don't really have the proper skills to run the Scythe, but I didn't find very many videos on it, and I didn't really know how to fit it, so I'd like to share how I fit my Scythe with very low skills, and what you can do to be a Scythe pilot. So let's just go ahead and check our Scythe out. The Minmatar Scythe. There are a few different variants to this. One is the Scythe, the Osprey, and there's two others. I don't even know the names of them, but they do have different roll bonuses, some for a better group shield booster effective range, but this one is the 400% remote shield booster optimal range. So that is these weapons up top here, and I'll kind of explain those a little bit better in a minute. If we scroll down, you do need advanced remote shield operation bonus. I would recommend that to at least 4 out of 5 for you to fly this ship reliably. Anything better than that, of course, is great. But if you invest too much into this type of ship, that's really all you're going to be doing is flying the ship, and it doesn't really do any damage. It's just there for support. So potentially an alt account would be great to fly this, but or just a low skilled one I think will do just fine. We scroll down a little bit more. For advanced cruiser command bonus, which if you do fly cruisers, that should be either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 by now. But this will give you a 100% remote capacitor transmitter optimal range and a 15% remote capacitor transmission effect. So you'll get more capacitor at a further range, and I'll show you all the different ways I built this. The capacitor on this is fairly decent, but the power grid is extremely low. I did slot a power grid rig on there, but if you were to fly this, I would recommend at least 553 in cruiser engineering, which is a huge investment, but if you are a cruiser pilot, you probably have that already. The Scythe is a shield tank, and they go for about 160, 170 mil. So yeah, let me show you how I fit this baby. You see our capacitor is extremely low at 36 seconds, hence a few capacitor batteries at the bottom. This is a fairly budget build. I did the cheapest stuff I could. Well, not the cheapest, but the mid-grade to cheap I went with. Up top, I went with the C-type medium remote shield booster. You can do the larges, but you have a problem with the power grid on your ship. You see mine's completely maxed out with 4 mediums, and these ones should do just fine. They heal 182 per cycle every 6 seconds, so that's actually quite a bit when you have 4 of them. 2, 4, 6, 8, so that's 800 shield every 6 seconds you can heal. The optimal range on the mediums are 28 kilometers, and the fall off's 37, so that's going to be well within a small fleet's range. Potentially, if you're doing a large fleet, you can stay in the back lines around 40 kilometers and just kind of shoot off some heals. The activation cost on these are quite a bit as well. It's almost 1-for-1 for the shield boost amount. But you imagine 800 gigajoules every 6 seconds is what this thing's shooting off, which can drain your cap in 36 seconds. For our mid slots, I considered doing 2 large group shield boosters, but I think the other ship would be better for that. So let me just pull it up just so you know what I'm talking about. It is the, wherever it is here. It's going to be like 20 minutes of me looking. The Augurer, however you say that, is not the ship I was looking at. It is the Osprey. So the remote shield booster optimal range is cut in half, so it'd be around 14 kilometers, but you see there's a 100% group shield booster effective range. So that will shoot your group shield boosters in your mid slots twice as far, but you'll have a less optimal range on the remote shield booster. This does have a 100% group capacitor transmitter, which you can fit on this ship as well, but I did not. For my mid slots, I did a large group shield booster. We are sitting at 36 kilometers, which should be within range of your mediums. So this complements it nice. You're shooting off 800 shield boost amount plus an additional 329 per 20 seconds. So that does add up. For this slot, I did a remote capacitor transmitter. This does take a lot of energy as well, 184 per 10 seconds, or 323 per 10 seconds, but it does give you 184 gigajoules per cycle on whoever you're trying to send a capacitor to. I wouldn't recommend using that unless somebody's getting low on their capacitor and they're being focused. Transferring your capacitor into theirs can definitely save them. On top of your 800, 1200 shield boost amount. Really, this is just to keep their resistances topped up, or their resistance modules going. They don't use much capacitor, but just one tick of this will keep them going so they don't just instantly pop, especially if they're being muted. So I thought this was a good fit on this ship. The optimal range is 20 and the fall off is 30, so it's around 50. Well within what our range of this ship is so far. Down below, I just stuck a medium micro warp drive. This gets this ship going up to 2,000 km a second, which isn't the fastest ship in the world, and you don't really need to complement it with velocity rigs, because you're going to be kind of either right up close to somebody or off in the back lines, just kind of micro warp driving around. Especially the person you're trying to heal is probably going to be webbed and not really moving too much, so it's not too necessary. You're going a million miles an hour in this. The other 2 slots, I did 2 medium capacitor batteries. The activation time is 25 seconds. We get a passive capacitor and 1,022 per activation, along with the 19% capacitor ratio upon activation. So this should be able to heal, I think, around 3,600 shield on a specific ship on one cycle. You will start chewing into your capacitor slightly, but you just pop another one, go from there. Once they are fully topped up, I would go for activating just one of these or 2 at a time, or splitting them up on different people. But usually you don't want all 4 going unless they're heavily being focused fired, and you could pop one of these to just kind of keep them going. Now you can do a booster on this or a shield resistance, because you do have the group shield booster to heal your shield a little bit. But I thought this would be a good complement to the ship. It gives 2,000 shield and another like 2,500 upon activation. Uses 500 gigajoules to activate it, but if you're getting targeted, popping this will definitely save your butt. I considered doing damage control for the resistance, but 13 seconds really isn't much, and I think I like the passive shield. So you need a little bit of tank on this, at least to survive, and you can fit this a lot of different ways. If you are sitting right on a gate, you can also swap your micro warp drive out for more tank or another capacitor battery, because when you activate these, they do not make you a criminal, even when you're healing a criminal, which I think is BS, because you can just hop back and forth between a gate pretty much. Now let's get into rigs. I went all out tank on this because you will not be doing any DPS and you want to try to survive as long as possible. Down below I did a anti-thermal screen reinforcer for the 35% thermal. I did a cheap 30% EM resistance. Of course you can move up from there, but I'm trying to go a little bit cheaper on this. If it gets pop, I won't be out too much. And then down below I have a 20% shield bonus amount. I think it gives you around 2,000 or 3,000 shield just for that one rig there, and I think with the extender it's going to make this a fairly tanky ship. If we go in here, we have 7,100 shield hit points, all around 40 to 50% resistances. So this isn't the most tanky ship in the world, but it will tank for a little bit until somebody can bang the person out attacking you, or you can get away. Down below I had to stick a power grid rig in here just to fit the modules I wanted. I don't have very good cruiser engineering, but that's what I have there. I have a capacitor multiplier, which I would 100% recommend, and if you can fit everything that I just showed you, I would go with the CCC on this, and I'll tell you why in just a minute, but the CCC will complement this ship very well. I did a enable capacitor need adjustment by 20% just to run the micro warp drive more efficiently. That can be definitely swapped out for anything of your choosing. I just want to make sure pretty much your capacitor is healthy. You can do another CCC or multiplier, really anything you want there. But yeah, and you see 0 DPS. So there are lots of variants to this, to my fit, and of course I'm going to keep talking, but you don't need a drone in this slot unless you're going to be fighting. That will turn your crime timer on, but I don't even fit a drone on there just to not get that crime timer. You can swap this for a, let's go in there, a remote capacitor group thing. It doesn't heal much capacitor, but it will top everybody up in your specific fleet, or the 10-man fleet that you have. Wherever the heck it is, it's on the medium. It's a group capacitor transmitter. Now this ship doesn't do it very well, but you see the medium or even the large down here only has a power grid requirement of 1. So if you're having power grid issues, you can slot one of these on instead. The optimal range on this is only 6, and it doesn't increase by much, so people have to be right on top of you, and I don't think that's the point of this ship, to be honest. But you can do that. The Osprey would run 2 of these better, but I like how I fit it with the 36-kilometer large group shield booster and the transmitter. You can swap this transmitter for another group shield booster, and that's just even more healing you can do there. Down below, of course, like I was saying, the booster, just kind of whatever you feel like equipping down there. Okay, I'm going to take this into a anomaly and just let somebody start banging out my stabber fleet. It is a armor tank, so his shield's going to go down fairly quick, and we're going to just see how much I can heal and if I can keep it topped up. Alright, so I have DK8B here, and he is just pretty much flying right into the group. Now he's not taking much damage. Not sure if these things are even attacking or not. I'm going to go and just stop my ship. So you see his shield is draining quite a bit. I'm going to activate just one of these. So every 6 seconds. It's actually topping him up pretty quick just with one active. Only about 2 to 3% per activation cycle. So if you imagine all 4s going at once, yeah, it's about 10% of your capacitor. Now, let's just check our group. We are at a 36 optimal range, so orbiting him at 30 should be just fine. But if I pop that, he should be within my bubble. Yep, so he is getting some healing off that. The group booster here, this one does run off of fuel, 800 gigajoules per tick. So if you see in my inventory, I have plasmoids, which uses, I think, about 1 to 2 per cycle. So I have about 1,500 cycles. So he is going down a little bit faster now. So if I activate my capacitor, let's just see how much it takes up. Yeah, about 5 to 10%. So you definitely want to have your capacitor battery on while you're doing that. So now let's pop our capacitor battery and heal him full. Use about half shield. So along with our large shield group shield booster there, we should have him topped up in no time. So about 3 cycles, our capacitor battery is out. So now we want to disengage this so we don't drain us dry. What I would probably do now is just have one going, and you should be able to continuously run that. Along with the group one, we should have him topped up for a while. So he is full shield. I think he's within the bubble there, but could get a little closer. But the optimal range on these, you see, is 28 kilometers, and anything after that is a fall off. So I think around 28 to 30 is a very good place to be in this ship. You see I have no combat timer, even in nullsec healing him, even if he was an enemy. So a good tactic is to just sit on a gate, pretty much 5 kilometers off, and if they target you, you just hop through the gate and back and forth. It's kind of a cheap tactic, and it's happened on me plenty of times, but yeah, it is a tactic, I guess, that they don't want to fix. That's why I do not have a drone. So, let's go over the Scythe charge mode here. If we activate this at the bottom right, the little arrow with a zap key, we get a signature radius, a 80% ship speed decrease, and a 50% capacitor recharge time. So if we open up our fittings, we cannot move very fast. It went from 30 to 42 seconds, but the recharge time is a lot faster, especially with the capacitor battery. Kind of sit back and activate these, and it helps out quite a bit. You just kind of sit stationary. If we activate our micro warp drive, it doesn't bring us much faster, but let's see the top speed on this. Yeah, 400. If we take that off, normal mode, yeah, 2,000 meters a second. So, ship capacitor recharge time is definitely good. If you are being targeted, I would deactivate that mode because your signature radius is through the roof right now. If you see here, our signature radius is 188, which is huge. If we deactivate it and go back to our targeting, we are at 97 signature radius. So you definitely don't want to have that on if you're being targeted, but it definitely helps if you're sitting in the back lines just kind of healing someone up. I can pop this and just kind of heal them up full again. Do my group shield, deactivate that, and he is full. and out of harm's way. Well, he is full, but he looks like he's almost out of capacitor. I can just shoot a quick 200 gigajoules into him. Let's just wait for my activation time. I'm looking at my other screen, and I'm at 70% capacitor, and it brought me to 77% capacitor. So a nice 7% shot in the arm, keeping my modules active on my stabber and ready to go. Well, I know this was kind of a boring video, but I wanted to go over the fittings of my scythe and kind of explain how the different modes worked. These are a very strong ship in fleet warfare, and they are probably going to be used just about everywhere. In large fleets at least, but in small fleets I think they are going to be extremely useful, especially doing gate camps. You can just sit on the gate, heal all your friends, and go from there. One thing you could do down below is do a targeting. Oop, I'm running out of capacitor, but you can do a targeting rig down here as well, because you will be unlocking and locking. And it takes a little bit for use the lock, but once you lock them, you can start healing. But if they're continuously swapping targets or someone goes down, it's definitely good to have that targeting on there. So our capacitor is almost drained, but I will just give him a shot in the arm there, and he is full once again. Alright, time to head back to the station. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. This was just how I felt the best build on this is, so if you have a different opinion or recommendation, definitely leave it in the comments. I might pin it if it is actually helpful, or if I completely built this ship wrong, leave it in the comments, just so people will kind of know what's going on there. Yep, we are completely drained, and we are going to get out of here. Alright guys, see you on the next one. Peace.